Okay, hopefully you guys can hear us now, and we're gonna turn this thing off. Hey, look at that.
Hello.
There we are. All right. Oh, I forgot my my apron.
Can't forget the apron.
First technical flub of the day. Now I'm gonna need you to help me remember actually all the history that I researched. I remember you found out some good information too. So the first thing we're gonna talk about. First of all, as you could tell from our title card, we're gonna be doing hamburgers. So we're gonna be cooking hamburgers.
Burgers.
And in
not
fact,
ham though.
Not ham, not steamed
Just
hams, not ham at all.
They're not ham.
We're gonna ham it up. But I don't think I've tied this properly. Can you tie me back
Yeah.
there? Thank you. This is why you need a good assistant in the kitchen, is so you can tie your friggin' apron. So we're gonna be cooking bison, and we're gonna be cooking beef. And I got like a 29% fat beef, so it's like that's a pretty juicy, cheap beef. We're gonna talk about cooking that. And then we're gonna cook also some vegan burgers, which I'll go ahead and show you what this is. Vegan burgers right here. We're showing it to our. There we go. This is Beyond Meat, and I think for those of you who have not had these before, these are really good. But I will say, smell that. Not a great smell. Live and in person.
It smells like
and
chemicals.
Raw. Yeah, it does. It smells kind of weird. It smells like a wet fart. But,
Not
it'll
mine.
get better.
Mine don't smell that bad.
We've also got some guacamole and pico. We're going to talk about making a really healthy burger because actually bison is a superfood. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And, of course, we've got some cheese. I don't believe in sliced cheese, so we've got some cheese over here as well. We're also live streaming over here on Instagram, so that's why maybe we should bring this guy over here so I don't have to play with as many cameras. Look at this. Friggin' technology, you guys. Okay. Hey, there we go.
Many angles.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, hamburgers. We're going to be talking about the actual patties. Like, we're cooking the patties because it's easy enough to do lettuce, tomato, pickles. I forgot onions, so there's that. That's on me. But the origin of the hamburger is sort of interesting. You can imagine that people were eating meat a long, long time ago, right? High in protein, and it happens to be that Genghis Khan started with this thing where they would get like the leftover meat crumbles, basically, and it's kind of like a soap ball, those like made from other little pieces of soap. You ever have somebody in your family do that, and they're like cheap as hell, and every time they get a little sliver of soap, they just mash it into one big ball? Well, that's essentially what it started as. They would, although apparently they would eat these raw sometimes, and they would like stick them under their saddle to tenderize the meat.
That's interesting.
It's a whole, there's a restaurant waiting to happen. The Genghis Khan authentic cuisine restaurant, very rustic. So that started. I believe it was his grandson then conquered Moscow at one point, and they started making these like chopped meat patties, almost like a steak, and that's why it's called steak tartare, because the Tartars are what they called the Mongols. That's what the Russians called the Mongols. So that's where steak tartare came from, and that's basically a chopped steak. It's very similar to Salisbury steak. And then, as things do in history, a port city named Hamburg in Germany, they were trading like high quality meats and whatnot, because it's a port city. You're going to get like the best of the best, right? And they ended up trading with Moscow. They improved it with higher quality meats. So we then fast forward to where German immigrants are moving to America in droves. The hand-carved vendors, as you started getting industrialization, this is like by now, we're talking about the late 1800s, early 1900s, around the turn of the century. You've got these people who have moved here. They're used to that chopped steak, that Hamburg steak, and
is it really steak? Like it's like
it's
like steak.
It's a euphemism. It's beef, right? And chopping steak is actually really laborious. So a lot of this stuff also depended on the fact that they started building grinders to be able to chop that meat up. Yeah. Well, and that's of course with the mechanization of food preparation as well, which is what Upton Sinclair wrote about in like the 1920s, the jungle. He talked about, anyway, that put people off hamburger meat for a long time. But before that, right before that, yes, exactly. We're all going to get sick today. We're ready for this. But no, the thing about it is that the folks from Germany that are working in these factories came out for lunch. They wanted something familiar, but you can't really handle a big meat patty, by itself. I mean, you can. I don't know. I'm not going to listen. Whatever you
German,
do,
yeah.
Yeah, and whatever you do in your private time is fine with me. But the idea is that they put it in bread so that people could eat it outside the hand cart, and it's like whatever. So it's hand food at this point. But it was what, 1904?
Yes.
Yes, the 1904 St. Louis. Anybody who knows food history knows 1904, huge year for American gut-busting foods.
Yes.
So you've got the hot dog was created for the World's Fair, St. Louis World's Fair.
St. Louis World's Fair.
1904. The hot dog, the hamburger, technically also.
Yes.
What else? Ice cream cones.
Ice cream cones, yes. But
else?
it was a magnificent fair, the world's greatest fair. It was known as, and it took place in 1904, and it was the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, and I was not there. Were you there?
I was not there. I'm not that old.
I've never been to a World's Fair.
I went to the 82 World's Fair, which was located here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah. And we couldn't get a room at the inn because a bunch of UT fans had barricaded themselves into their rooms.
Wow.
The weekend that we were here, I was probably the Florida game or something. I was in middle school. All I remember is thinking UT fans are assholes. And then I became a UT graduate. So
congratulations.
your dreams can come true. That's all I'm saying.
They are assholes, though.
Yeah. Well, they were back then, I guess. I think we've matured by now. But, so, 1904, St. Louis, and again, then this book comes out, and people are like, hamburger sounds like a great way to die. For a little while, right. So then...
Do they have hamburger in the jungle? Do they have ham in the jungle?
They have boars.
Okay.
Right? So you eat some boar bacon. We're not going to cook any boar bacon today.
When are we going to do that? Soon?
We should, soon, yeah. Our next episode, by the way, is going to be on fish. Just so you know, we got a foolproof way to cook fish. So today's foolproof methodology is maybe not as foolproof as I would like to think, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so hey, I forgot to turn our little fake GoPro on, so bear with me. Oh, thanks, One Step Beyond Burger. I love that apron. Thanks, Victor. That's another Victor on there. Oh. And for those of you in the live stream, hey, everybody, so we can, I don't know if everybody can see us. We've got like 14 cameras going on right now. It's a veritable face vest. Okay.
Very exciting. Oh, no.
There we go. All right, just wanted to record. I hope that records.
I'll move this teacup.
Now, we've got tomatoes and we've got lettuce, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you need to do to make these, suitable for consumption, basically.
Right.
We're going to talk about chopping these up. I have also brought, like I said, pico de gallo and some probably pretty bland guacamole. It says Cabo Fresh, 95% avocado, and yet it says spicy. Generally, that's a fucking lie.
We've got an avocado here, but it belongs to my roommate.
No, it's okay.
And I'm not going to be a bad roommate.
Well, here's the cool thing about hamburgers, though. We got derailed when we were talking about the history. The next step was pretty much everyone knows the rest of it. White Castle came along, and part of its big appeal was that it was super hygienic. And in fact, to this day, White Castles usually get like 99 or 100 on their scores or whatnot. So they popularized the hamburger again, and then it just went from there. McDonald's and all your modern burgers. The crazy thing about the hamburger is that there's an infinite variety that you can put on it, which is why we're cooking 3 different patties. We want to look at like what are some things to watch for when you're cooking a vegan, meatless patty. Well, I guess it is meatless. I was going to say meat patty, but then I went for the air quotes, and now it's fucking wrong. All right.
Air quotes ruin everything.
Oh, I said we need to watch language. I'll bleep all this out later, kids. Don't worry.
Just forget it.
We'll erase your mind later. Okay, so we've also got pickles.
Pickles.
Which here's what I get. I get the. I'll put my finger over the brand here. The little chips, the dill chips, like this guy. This guy's name is Chip, and these are kosher dill chips. That's what you want. Hamburger dill fast food chips. So that's what it's actually labeled as, oddly enough. So look at that. We got all these pickles. We got a pickle party.
I would be so disappointed if I heard I was getting chips and I got pickles.
Now, let's get some meats out. Let's look at what these meats look like here. First of all, we've got bison, and it feels like this bison is not... All right, I'm going to end the Instagram stream real quick.
I want to say a few words here.
Yeah.
There have been some rumors going around that millennials ruin everything, millennials hate everything, and I just want to clear this up. That is not the case. The rumor now is that millennials hate touching meat, and that actually is true.
Yes.
I am a millennial, and I don't. It's not my favorite.
That's right. We were going to talk about this, and it's important to note, by the way, that when you get this stuff, you can get it at the store, and they have extra plastic bags. So you can put it in plastic bags. I totally get not wanting to handle meat. Of course, you want to make sure that your hands are mostly clean. You can actually open up and get out a piece of this meat out of the package without having to handle it.
What?
Like about 98% chance you will not have to touch. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second.
I don't know if I
believe
believe
This is still
that.
a little frozen, so I'm trying to make sure that, just right here on the end, what we're going to do is we're just going to pull out about a third of that. So it's going to be about a third of a pound burger. That's still a little squirt. This is good to go. This is, hide the brand here. This is the cheap stuff. The grounded beef. Yep, there you go.
What did you think it did to get grounded?
And I think it gave someone cholera probably. But
yeah.
73% lean, 27% fat. Packaged for maximum freshness and quality. That's what we're all about here. And look, a serving suggestion. It's in tacos.
Oh.
Yeah, either tacos or just raw. You know.
Yeah.
As the picture
That's kind of
on
what
the
it
end,
looks
like it's like it's raw.
Have
You can
yummy,
either make tacos
snack on it
or just
with a spoon.
It's like cookie dough. It's like meat flavored cookie dough.
I wonder which is more unhealthy. Probably the meat, right?
The meat is more likely to give you something nasty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means it's totally fine for me to keep eating cookie dough straight.
Hell yeah.
This is wonderful news.
That's right. As long as your mouth can get to a certain temperature. By the way, I don't remember, we were just talking about this, I don't remember the exact temperature that is needed to, cook a piece of meat.
Right.
All the way through. So why don't you do the pleasure of asking...
our good friend, our assistant.
Yep.
My dear, Alexa, what temperature do you have to cook meat until?
Here's something I found on reference.com. The safe minimum cooking temperature for meat depends on the type of meat being cooked. Did that answer your question?
No. Wait, what are we doing?
All right, so how about this? No.
No.
And. Okay, how about this? Alexa, what temperature should you cook ground beef?
It is recommended to saute ground beef in the oven on medium-high heat for 7 minutes to 10 minutes per pound until it reaches an internal temperature of at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go.
160.
Completely thaw the meat before cooking. Cooking with a teaspoon or two of cooking oil is recommended.
Alexa, shut up. Okay, so 160, right?
Yeah, 160.
I mean, I hate to talk negatively to my robots, but
I had heard 160.
we're all gonna be rendered into meat later.
Can't wait.
So I've got this little Pyrex meat thermometer. If you don't have a meat thermometer, then you're gonna die. No,
Really? It's like a little lightning bolt.
it is like a little lightning bolt. It's very cute. These you can pick these up super cheap, and they'll save you a lot of like hassle and worry and whatnot. And what's great too is that there is temperature readings for everything. Look at here on the side:
God.
scallops, croquettes, vegetables, French fries, oysters, donuts.
What?
Yeah, it'll tell you what temperature for a deep fry or for candy.
Whoa!
So you can make your own candy. It's a candy thermometer.
Wait. Okay, I'm a little bit confused. That's so weird though, because it's got chicken on here, but it doesn't have beef.
Maybe I shouldn't use it on the beef, but I think we'll be okay. The other thing you can do is, of course, you can always cook your beef all the way through till it's brown, all the way through the middle. That's well done if you're a monster. If you want to cook it that way, then fine. You're going to cook out all the flavor, and I hate you.
Or you can cook in all the flavor.
I don't know. Well, that actually brings up a really good point, which is that in grilling and in pan frying, one of the techniques is that you get the pan or the grill really hot. and you sear the meat. And when you do sear that meat, of course, the seared meat tastes delicious. But if you sear the meat properly, you're going to seal in juices. Now, the only thing about this is that anybody...
This is blood juice, right?
Basically. I mean, well, it's the actual flesh you're going to be searing and turning into a cinder, right? Which creates does create a barrier. But here's the problem.
It creates a barrier, but you're still eating what's inside the barrier.
Well, exactly. Well, the idea is that those juices don't leave it dry. Because what you don't want is a dry burger. And that's what, if you...
How do you know?
If you overcook it...
You don't know what I want.
Oh, you don't want it. You don't want that. No, you don't want that crap. Well... I mean, there are some people... I don't want
a watery burger.
Nobody wants a watery booger either, frankly.
Speak for yourself.
If you're thirsty, I mean, I can
get
it. No, so, frankly, we were making fun of this taco thing, but actually taco, when it's cooked with the spices and whatnot, if it's juicy, great, or whatever, but honestly, I like it kind of like burnt to a cinder, because it's a little more flavorful that way.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And there are a lot of recipes, as a matter of fact, that tell you, go ahead and cook your meat and then chisel it out of there, but leave some of the stuff in there and then cook vegetables on top of that because that imparts some of the flavor. Right. And it's a good way to tie dishes together that way. I mean, you could literally cook a couple of beef patties and then cook some French fries, or you could cook green beans in that juice, and it would impart the flavor of it, and it would taste delicious.
Beefy beans.
Beefy beans. Who doesn't love beefy beans? All right, okay, so we're going to go wash our hands over here. We do have soaps, and we've got all that kind of, we've got that good stuff.
Paper towels.
I forgot to mention, by the way, Burger Battle. Here, I'll let you tell them about Burger Battle on the camera while I wash my hands.
This is a game. So, we are cooking and card games, and this is the card game that we will be playing today. It is called Burger Battle, and it's got cards. Basically, you get to have a different burger as your burger, and you're trying to get the ingredients for that burger. And you have a draw card pile and a discard pile. Wonderful stuff. I haven't played it yet, but it's cool. If you guys don't understand it, that's perfect, because I also don't understand it.
It's sort of like, it's almost like Go Fish, kind of, you know?
Are there burgers with fish?
There's no burgers with fish. I need to find a copy of Go Fish for when we do fish next week, though.
Dude.
So, all right. So, we're going to need, of course, spatulas. We're going to do a different spatula for each thing here. The first one we're going to do, I think, is going to be the bison. The bison will give you the least amount of trouble. It's a very lean meat. As a matter of fact, let's see what this says. 90% lean, 10% fat. Okay.
Is bison the same as buffalo?
Yeah. Is bison the same as buffalo? Bison raised with... That's a good question.
Alexa, is bison the same as buffalo?
No, bison is not equal to African buffalo.
What about American buffalo? Okay.
What type of swallow? All right. Let's see. I need a sharp knife. So this is a new kitchen for me, by the way. I don't know where anything is.
It's kind of new for me, also, actually. Those are some knives. I think we've got...
Oh, this is perfect.
Like a couple knives.
This is perfect, because I'm going to show you how, if you don't want to touch the meat... Well, honestly, you're going to have to touch the meat because you're going to have to create a meat patty. So, but if you just had a regular thing, then you would be able to... You would be doing just fine on that. Can I use this plate?
I guess so.
We're going to use this plate.
It's plastic. Is that a problem?
Nah, that's not a problem. So what I'm going to do is,
we're not going to cut on there.
Here's what I recommend. No. Okay. Here's what I recommend that people do if you are concerned about touching meat. Get those kitchen gloves that are like the lunch lady uses at the high school.
Oh, yeah.
Get those plastic gloves. You can touch stuff all day, and it will not get on your skin itself, which is super handy. I'm just not that. I don't plan ahead like that. So the biggest problem is going to be the blood that comes out. But I'm just going to cut into this package here. There we go. This is the least good thing I'll do all day, because I can't open packages apparently.
We used to have kitchen scissors, but I don't think we do anymore. I should have mentioned that
Kitchen
before.
scissors are super handy, and mine also went missing. So I think we have a cereal thief. There we go.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Cereal thief. Stealing your cereal. Mondays on ABC. All right. So what I'm going to do is I just cut a little, like a pair of pajamas. Just cut a little hole in the back there. And then I'm going to actually squeeze out about a third of this package. I think I picked the wrong side, but whatever. Ugh.
Is one side better than the other side?
Yeah. One side has stars on its belly.
If it's like closer
and the other doesn't.
Closer to the back of the freezer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, here we go. Ugh. So it kind of tastes like, I don't know what it tastes like. I don't care.
We don't have to, do we?
No.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna. There we go.
What happens if you get it on your Apple Watch?
You just lick it off.
Yummy.
With a very warm tongue. No, you should be all right. You should be able to wash. This is a Series 4 Apple Watch, so I can wash it.
Oh.
Yeah.
How fancy.
Right. Now, this was a little frozen, just barely here in the middle. So I'm actually working it out a little extra with my fingers to like defrost it, essentially. Because if that doesn't cook, then you actually have a risk of some bacterial contamination. And that's why they say completely defrost. This was frozen in December. And so people ask, like, how long can I keep meat around and all that? It said use or freeze by December 17th. So I froze it before then. And then once you warm it back up, once you defrost it, you should cook it within a day or two, honestly.
But how long can it be frozen for?
A few months, like a couple months. I wouldn't go much more than 3 months, honestly. I've done worse, but I'm just saying I wouldn't recommend it if you want to be completely safe.
I heard that if you go to a restaurant and you order your meat well done, they'll give you an older piece of meat so they can hide.
That's very possible because it basically renders it like an old piece of meat. It toughens it up, and what normally you would do when you're cooking, particularly beef and steak, is, and you can do this with burgers too, and it makes them really great, is leave them just a slightly bit underdone to where you want. And as you cook more, you'll understand this. But in terms of doneness, you cook it a little bit under, and then you wrap foil around it right off of the heat and let it sit like in an oven or something. That's called resting. And the resting, it allows the juices to seep in and sort of finish cooking.
With the oven turned on?
You can turn. I turn the oven to like 200 or something usually.
This oven is always hot, even when it's not on.
Oh dear.
It's like, well, it's not too bad now. I wonder if it's because the lights and stuff are turned on.
It's weird. I put my iguana in there. Okay, so what I've done here is I've actually formed a little ball. You can see it there.
That's more than a little ball.
Well, it's it's about a third of the
meatball.
package. Yeah, it's too big for a meatball, and there's nothing in it. By the way, you could cut up onions, like chop them real fine if you want to. You could cut up onions, mushrooms. You can put little pieces of cheese. You can put garlic. You can all mix that in with this. You can mix it with salt and pepper to give it a little bit more flavor. We're wanting to taste the actual flavor of the bison.
Would you ever put milk in the burger?
I would not. I don't think. Maybe some cereal. Put a little Fruity Loops in there.
Actually, I'm tempted.
I am not a master burger patty master whatever.
What about nuts?
Meister burger. Ooh, no.
No nuts in a burger?
The texture would be terrible. Ugh. Oh my god, I'm gonna vomit now.
What if they were? I don't know. You could come up with something.
So
creative.
see, there's my crappy little. There's no secret to it.
There's different kinds.
There's
of
no
nuts.
trick to it. It's just a simple trick. You could get a roller or whatever. I'll take this on the plate. Let's see if we can get this over here. Maybe we can see it. I'll get this on the plate, and I'll just kind of like massage it around like that. But the trick is, you want to give yourself enough to where, if you think about the physics of this, right? It's cold, first of all. Even if you warm it up a little bit closer to room temperature, which you really don't want to sit meat out for hours on end, especially if you have pets. Yeah. Unless you like eating cat butthole.
What?
But the idea is that you want to give it a little bit of thickness, but if you give it too much, then the center is going to be, you're going to like overcook the ends of it, and the middle is not going to work out right. So you really do want it to be like a nice disc, and just a happy little slaps there.
If you make the center part like too big, can you squash it out when it's in the pan?
You can, but here's what happens is that you risk breaking the form.
Okay.
Yeah, the patty. You want to try to keep that patty together. All right, if you don't mind, set the front pan to about a 5. Actually, first...
How much do we need? There's 3 levels.
Oh, dear.
3 levels. what is it?
I put it on the medium,
9,
but
12
first of all, spray a little bit of that oil in there.
on the pan or on the stove?
On the pan.
Okay. And you said medium?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not open yet. You have to shake it.
You might want to. Oh, it's like a squirt pump.
Shake well. Shake well.
Oh, shake well too. Then there's that.
And drink some water. I think this would be weird to be.
Now, something I'll tell you is that when you do handle meat and you go to wash your hands, it's going to be greasy as hell. So you've just got to get used to like scraping the sludge off. Yep.
6 to 8 inches. 8 to 10. Holy shit. That could have gotten bad.
Here. Oh wait.
Is it because it's brand new?
Yeah. There we go.
Cool.
All right.
And this is olive oil.
This is an olive oil spray. I don't always use this kind of stuff, but I find that for this kind of thing, it's actually super handy. The other thing too is for the vegan patty, the Beyond Meat patty, it's absolutely required. If you don't put some kind of thick oil down, it's going to stick to the damn pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to preheat the skillet just a little bit here. I like to call it skillet rather than a pan because I'm from East Tennessee.
There's a difference.
Get our skillet going. It's like a fiddle and a violin. It's the same fucking thing. It's just
cool.
Yeah, this comes from a trailer. No, so it's also my best friend's middle name, Skillet.
Really?
Trent Skillet Jones. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
You would never name your child Skillet. My God, what's wrong with you people?
One of my friends' middle name was Hopcraft.
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 Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I didn't bring is. Do you have any plastic bags?
Plastic bags.
Well, here's this. I can use this.
Yeah, that's
there
good. Those plastic bags are the premium here.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. There we go. There's the bison. We're going to put that in the fridge.
Okay, cool.
You want to put your meat away. Don't just have it hanging out all over town with people staring at you.
You don't want strangers touching your meat when you're not paying attention.
Exactly. So, you want to heat this up to where the oil starts. It's hard to see from any of these cameras, really, but you want to have this thing. Fuck this guy. You want to have this thing to where the oil starts to sort of run and whatnot. You'll see a change in viscosity, essentially, right?
So, like, instead of being bubbled, it'll sort of slim out.
Yeah, it'll start to like loosen up a little bit. Exactly, get watery.
Okay.
And that means that it's like just a little bit in between 5 and 6. Again, your mileage may vary depending on the size. If you've got a gas stove, it's instant hot, right? These take a while to heat up. The traditional steel coil, or I don't know if it's steel, whatever it is, coils, those take a little while to heat up. But the whole idea is that, yeah, and you can also feel your hand over here. Like if your hand feels like if you were to set it down, you would cook your flesh. That's generally a good time
to cook your flesh. If you're ever wanting to cook your flesh, you gotta wait till it's hot enough.
If you're hungry enough, you'll eat it. As one of my imaginary relatives probably would have said, all right, I'm an orphan. Okay. Right, we're going to get angry letters from orphans now.
I wish I was an orphan. Just kidding.
You didn't tell your family you were on the show today, did you?
No.
Okay.
My mom's got stuff to do. She's busy. She's
like,
got a real life.
Time to sit around and watch this crap.
She's in Mexico right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. So it's pretty close. It's pretty close. You feel your hand. See? Feels
that's pretty pleasant.
Pretty hot, right?
It's pleasant.
Okay, so, and again, to avoid contamination, you're tempted to like scoop this guy up, but honestly, you can just flip it. Now, if you got more than one, you're just gonna pick it up with your hand, and then you're gonna like, okay, fuck it.
That's what you think.
Yep.
You can just flip.
Boom. Oh, should have heated up a little bit longer. It's all right.
So we want it to be sizzling.
We want it to be sizzling. Yeah, when we drop it on the thing, we actually want it to sizzle. So. I'm just going to crank this thing up. Now, here's another trick that I learned through time and
failures?
Inattention, yes. Is that, say you don't have a gas stove, which a lot of people do not have gas stoves now. You can crank whatever you have up to high, except a gas stove. Do not do this with a gas stove.
Why not?
Crank it up to high, and it will get hot immediately.
Right, and then
you can like ride it back down. But just make sure that you pay close attention so you don't start, particularly like olive oil. will start to burn at a certain temperature.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the temperature?
I have no idea, but it's
Should we ask
if
our
you put it
assistant?
on high, it will burn off in
Whoa.
the pan. Yeah, so you don't want that to happen because it'll also taste funny if olive oil burns. There we go. So now
Does any person like the taste of burnt olive oil, do you think?
there's probably a use for it. So the craft cocktail scene, I'm sure there's some, dill pickle,
That'd be
olive,
good.
but crap.
God.
Yeah.
Julienne dill pickle.
The fact of the matter is, you're going to use your spatula anyway to press down on the meat, so it doesn't
Press
matter.
down on the meat.
So look at that.
There we go.
So you want to press that. Here's what's funny is the reason I know
Wait, this pan had raw meat.
it's contaminated. Yeah, this is contaminated. So
Should I wash it?
I was going to go put it over here. Just put it in the sink right now. We'll do dishes later. Here's the trick. If you look at old, go on YouTube sometime and look up old training videos for Burger King and Wendy's and McDonald's. They're hilarious. And one of the ones they have is like, make sure that you press down in the four corners. And it wasn't. I think it actually was a Wendy's. I think it was a Wendy's. Because they got the square
White
burgers.
Castle?
No.
White Castle had
Oh no,
squares.
these were big. Well, in White Castle are cooked a little bit differently. They got the onions on them, right?
And they're
they're
steamed.
like set down on a big thing. You don't push them down. Yeah,
You
because
don't
they're
push them
steamed. Maybe they do push them down. I don't know.
I don't know. They're wonderful.
But they don't. Somehow they don't singe the onions. You know what I mean? Like the onions aren't really
yeah,
caramelized.
they're like moist.
They're just
almost.
there. Yeah, everything's.
I mean, they're kind of mushy, but in a delicious,
because they're
wonderful way.
steamed. All right. So
Steamy.
ideally, you want to set a little timer. You could set it on. You know how to set a fucking timer.
Could ask our assistant.
That's true. But you want to go about 2 minutes. I've just been kind of keeping my eye on the time here. You want to go about 2 minutes. We also weren't quite up to the heat level that we want to keep it on. I can see on the edges here that it's like starting to cook, and you can see where it's like getting brown right there,
It looks kind of white, but
or whitish. Yeah, it's kind of a
on
weird,
the way to brown.
dismal gray.
I can guess.
Like
ET skin.
There you go. And so turn it over.
Awesome.
Set that to sizzle. And it's 340 right now, so we'll give it about 3 minutes on that side.
3 minutes.
Crank it up a little bit more, just so we cook it faster. There's nothing wrong with cooking it fast. You can slow cooking, especially a hamburger, does you no good whatsoever. It's not.
How do you know? I mean, maybe there's some artisan way to.
Well, yeah, sure. If you've got like a solar cooker, right?
Did you ever make
As God intended.
like Quaker oatmeal with the foil hot dog cooker?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Those were fun.
Yeah, I would not cook a hamburger with a solar cooker. Probably. I mean, you could do like a strip at a time, maybe. Or you could.
It's probably just delivery.
Is that Mr. McFeely?
Oh man. They'll probably go away. There's a little girl who had a crush on Beth's son when he lived here, but she knows he's gone. I think.
We hope. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to do next? We're going to do the beef. We'll do the beefy ones.
Oh.
While we're waiting for this to cook, by the way, we got about another minute. Like you were saying, burger battle.
Burger battle.
And
Battle with the burgers.
the whole idea is that you've got like recipes. So you see, like this has bun, lettuce, tomato, onion, avocado, and the cards.
Fun in a bun.
So these are like the big cards. These are what you're trying to build. And then you've got like ingredients, avocado, cheddar cheese, and you try to build your burger before the other person does. And of course there's battle cards, so you can like screw with people and whatever. Okay. Let's get that sizzle in.
Oh,
And you see like
man.
I push it down and like the
All that
blood
stuff
comes up
comes
out
out.
of it. That's right. So that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're trying to get the heat to transfer into the middle of the
And
meat
that's
patty.
blood that I'm not drinking.
Well, there's that too. I mean, you could drink it. But now we're cooking it up. And there's actually, one of my favorite dishes in the whole world is blood sausage. Have you heard of blood sausage?
I've heard of blood sausage.
Yeah, it is not the penis of the animal. It is actual coagulated blood in an intestine casing.
But was it blood that was already in the intestine? Or
No. That's just the casing.
Is it mixed in with something else?
It's like heart blood. Sometimes, now the Argentinians put in some tripe. So they do have some cut up intestines in there to just kind of fill it up. Mm-hmm. But the Bolivians do it the right way. They've got just coagulated blood.
Just coagulated
That's the name of my new bar. Just coagulated blood.
Coagulate. It would just be funny to call your business Coagulate.
All right.
I can't think of anything that would work.
And now this may be hard to see on that one camera, but this is when I press down on it, there's no blood coming out for the most part. Like it doesn't ooze out like it did before.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. It was disgusting and awful.
And so, and you can see I'm getting a little bit of nice singeing there on the edges.
So that's the where it's like dark brown.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's going to be tasty. All right.
Well, is this seared? If you say seared, does this count as being seared or?
That's it's not a whole lot of searing, unfortunately.
Okay, I don't care. I just wanted to.
But that is definitely like, well, what you would want to do is you would really want to get that pan really hot in order to sear it. What we'll try to do is, since this is, we'll put the burger on this, the hamburger, and since there's more fat, it'll help it sear easier. Right?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, let's grab another plate here. We'll do all these dishes when we get done. And let's go ahead and pop this guy off of here. Actually, hey, before we do that, let's be safe, kids. That's right, let's use our thermometer. And this is a little tricky because it's kind of a thin patty, but find a thick part of it here. And here you can see the temperature going up.
What if it was, if dinosaurs were still around, they would get a dinosaur to, be a spokesperson for Pyrex. Did you know that they got MC Hammer to be a spokesperson for 3M for those command wall hooks?
Are you serious?
Stop, it's hammer time, because you don't want to use the hammers and destroy your walls. Seriously, MC Hammer. Just picked, cardboard cutouts from Office Depot, life size.
Alright, this is good.
How's no one stolen those?
We're not going to die, yeah.
We hope.
I've cooked for years without a thermometer, and as long as there's no blood, and as long as you cook it for a certain amount of time, you're going to be fine. Like I said, you can overcook it. Just don't spend 2 seconds on it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this in the patty here. Oh wait, we need a fork.
A fork? What fork?
Just to load it up.
Oh, okay.
Just to load it. Here, wait. Over here where you can see. This is the plating. It's very, oh geez. Probably should have used a different. Look at that. It's so big. Burger? It's a giant burger. Okay, here, wait. Put that on top. And then we're going to sop up this gravy here a little bit.
Gravy.
Okay. Leave that there. Now, let's get the beef patty out.
Whoa.
Let's see. Did we have a chopping board?
We've got that tile. I think we might have a cutting board. I don't cook. I'm sorry. I really don't cook. Wait, this looks like a cutting, chopping.
See, this is why we're doing this, is in somebody's home where we have no idea what they've got or what they don't have. And, okay, this is perfect. We're going to do it on the edge over here since it's not as cut up. It's maybe hard to see.
Wait, you have to chop?
No, I'm gonna have to cut into it,
okay.
And I don't want it to contaminate.
They don't
too
have
much.
like a pull string for it?
No.
That would be
nice, wouldn't it?
Very nice.
Let's see.
That idea is only $200,000.
This is 4 servings, so
4 servings. Okay.
Half and then half again, right?
Just don't force it.
There we go.
How hard is it to clean out these knives after this?
It's not hard at all, because all you're going to do is just put them under some hot water. You wash them with a sponge or whatever.
Can you use your fingers on them?
Oh, yeah.
That's not safe, to use your fingers on a knife.
Well, you can do it like that. You can do it like that. I use my tongue on the knife, honestly.
You're hardcore.
That's
how it goes.
I don't, you only live once. And, okay. So I'm going to put this...
Unless you're a cat. Where, do we want it in a bag?
Yeah.
Like a zipper bag?
There we go.
Is that big enough? Probably not.
That'll work. No, that's actually perfect. Go ahead and open it up. We're just going to...
And then...
So close.
I caught it, though.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay, I should have put it in the
I was
other
going to put it in the other way.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and we're gonna wash this because we're gonna need to cut up our tomato and lettuce. But to talk about that lettuce real quick, The best idea is to just wash the lettuce, wash the tomato on the outside. By the way, if you can see that patty, it's a lot lighter. Isn't that a lot lighter than that bison?
Like, almost like your skin tone.
Yeah. So, and it's also a little bit easier to form because it's a lot more like the consistency of Play-Doh because of all the extra fat. Which, you know, you think it doesn't make a big difference, kind of like the difference between 2% and 3% milk or whatever. But it's actually quite a bit. So this should sizzle quite spectacularly when I set it on the grill here.
Oh yeah.
How spectacular is that?
Oh yeah.
All right, so we'll let that cook for a minute. We wash my hands.
Are you gonna take the leftovers with you? Like, not leftover food, but like the uncooked meat and
Oh
stuff?
yeah. I gotta feed my family.
Good, I was gonna say. I don't wanna deal with that
My family's
stuff.
dinosaurs.
We just have meat go bad all the time. First they start by getting on motorcycles, and then they start smoking. It's a shame.
All right, so
Shallots.
if you want to, oh wait, let's watch this.
Oh, okay. Hang on, I was gonna say, I think we've got sponges. Or I should say, I know we've got sponges. I bought a lot of them. Let me grab one.
All right.
From the laundry room.
All right, I got more buns. Some people like to toast their buns. It's up to you. Sometimes if they're a little bit older, by the way, I will find that if they're a little bit stale, stick them, as long as they don't have any mold on them, stick them in a toaster for a minute. And, you know, so this little tip, if you got stale buns, stick them in the toaster for a minute, and you get them a little crisp up, and you won't ever notice that you're eating old buns. Old man buns. All right. Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes. All right. So just flip that beef patty over. It should be good to go here in a couple minutes now. The tomato, the American tomato. This is just a greenhouse tomato because, frankly, I have found they've got all these wonderful heirloom tomatoes these days. And while they're fantastic and they taste delicious, think about the combination with other ingredients, right? So if you're adding a really sweet heirloom tomato to something, you want to balance that out with something acidic. You want to have that fusion of flavors, right?
Soap on the sponge and hot water?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And rinsing.
Yes.
But why not now?
So with this, all you got to do is just wash off a little bit. Mostly what tomatoes have on them is the wax that keeps them from getting all damaged and whatnot. And so they look pretty. And so you just wash that. You can also do it by soaking them in a little bit of baking soda water and just let them sit for a little bit.
Do I have to throw away that sponge now?
No.
Okay.
All right. And with the lettuce, let me show you this. I just destroyed the package because I hate these things. How's that looking?
It looks like a...
It's starting to ball up a little bit, as you can
lizard
see.
split lizard tongue a little bit.
Okay, yeah. And you notice that this is spattering a lot more because it's got stuff. So we're going to use a pan. Oh, jeepers. We're going to use a pan to kind of cover that up a little bit. Now we're going to have to wash the bottom of that pan afterwards because it's going to have the grease that's catching. But at least this way the grease isn't getting all over your stove. It's not getting all over you and all over the floor and shit. So, all right, let's take this. Now we're going to do the tomato preparation here. And I need another knife. We got it right here. Honestly, okay, yeah. And here's the thing.
Do you need a bread? No. No bread.
No.
I don't want... You need a special knife for this, right?
Actually, you don't. Here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you know what? The reason why I use a bread knife for tomato is because your modern tomato is super thick. The skin is super thick. Hold on, I gotta go rinse this off.
How mad would you be if, you know, your grandfather left you an heirloom, and it turned out it was just a tomato.
I would be very
That's
okay with that because I love tomatoes.
yeah.
Just kidding. Has the alarm seriously not gone off? Is that?
Alexa, how much time left?
You have 10 seconds left.
Okay. So here's the thing about the pan trick is that you got to remember it's hot. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this off.
Now we have to clean off the stove too.
All right.
Alexa, timer off, please.
All right. I'm gonna let that sit there. Boom.
Okay.
All right. This is contaminated.
contaminated. I'll wash it.
We're done with the contaminated portion of the show because we're gonna let that sit for a minute. We're going to now. Do you want cheese on your burger?
No. Do I look like a savage?
Okay.
Don't answer that.
So, with the tomato, I usually make a little cut here to get rid of that green part. You don't want to eat the stem.
Could you use it as a garnish?
You could.
Would you?
Why?
Why not?
True.
Because you gotta have a little green on your plate.
Holy
Oh,
crap.
that's what the lettuce is for.
That's right. That
That's
was like
how
the
you
deepest.
decide.
That was like the deepest stem of any tomato I've ever
Wow.
cut into in my life.
Huh. It heard you talking about it.
It did. Damn GMOs. Okay. This is probably Attack of the Killer Tomatoes style tomato. It's very thick. This is like a very thick. Feel that.
Ooh,
Right?
ooh,
It's like a
ooh.
dense motherfucker. And so now I've really screwed it up because good luck getting a nice slice out of that, right? So,
What makes a nice slice?
well, you want like a cylinder, right? You want to be able to put that on your burger.
Oh, because like a burger's a cylinder. No.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a flat cylinder.
It's a flat cylinder.
You mentioned GMOs, so I'm going to show my cool. This is the Monsanto Salt Award thingy. I'm not sure where it came from. It was in my dad's stuff. But I'm from St. Louis, like all the amazing people in the world are. Marilyn Beau Savant.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've created the world's worst slices, which is okay to me because it's really just about getting a little mater.
They
on
don't
your
look
burger.
like that in the video game.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut this in half so we can have. And you want to get out the mustard and ketchup.
Yeah.
And as for the lettuce, here's what you do. You just take the lettuce, grab you a leaf or two off of the head,
There's Dijon.
and just go wash it. Just rinse it off. Because usually all you're looking for is just some bugs or something that might be on it.
There's bugs on.
You can find bugs down in there. Not
Sometimes
alive or
I
anything.
found bugs in my weed before.
Well, there you go.
They're pretty
I mean,
bugs.
bugs and plants kind of go together, so.
Yeah, they need them, right? They need each other.
Okay. The only problem with
Are we
this
gonna
method,
ever cook bugs?
I don't know that we're going to cook any bugs,
Okay.
honestly.
Not with that attitude.
No. Okay, do you want lettuce?
Yeah, let's do
All right.
a lettuce.
You want tomato?
Yeah, let's do a tomato.
Okay. Boom. And then
Has this never been used?
here's your half of the burger. And my fingers are super wet because of the damn. There we go. There we go. So we can see a little bit of that. And then
Just wonder who
this is
bought this.
very well cooked right now.
Ooh.
So we're going to take the Hamburger stuff.
I am having a real tough time with this.
Oh, geez, those are the worst.
Hang on.
You know what I do is I just slice them, cut them up. Cut them.
Got it. Already got it. You just had to step closer to me.
Okay, so I got some lettuce here. Let's get down here. Now, something you could do, so like with this bison burger, what I could do is I could wrap this actually in lettuce, and instead of a big gluten-y burger, I could do this. Take some of this pico de gallo.
Why is it called that?
Because it is made of tiny little men.
Okay, is that what that means?
Pico gallos.
Awesome.
No, I don't know. It's like a spicy gallo.
I would have believed that. You could have let me go on believing that.
So, put a little bit of that on there. And there you got some spice.
Oh, you're too good for gluten now?
I'm too good for gluten. That's the name of my new album. Too good for gluten. And I'm a rootin' gluten cowboy. All right. And then a little bit of guac. Although I probably should put the guac on first, but now I can seal it in there. Like a tomb. Like a boss. Okay, and then a little more lettuce. And look at that. This is actually a superfood. It's bison with lettuce and pico de gallo and guacamole.
What was the bison's name? Does it say on the package?
His name was Fred. Now he's dead.
Frederick or Fredward?
He's in my head. Let's get
And in your belly.
Try yours.
I'm going to put some mustard. Have you ever been to the Mustard Museum?
I have not. Where is that?
It's in Wisconsin.
Of course.
And it's...
Mustard capital.
Is it?
No. I don't know.
Well, they
But
have...
it must be if they have a museum.
Dairy. It's amazing.
They're obviously doing something right.
They have like hundreds of mustards you can try. You can try them all for free.
Ooh. It's like the Coca-Cola Museum. Is it not shitty?
I mean, yeah, what do they got at Coca-Cola Museum?
They got all the ones from around the world, all the sodas. They've even got Fruitopia from the 90s.
Oh, God. I remember that.
Remember that?
The healthy option.
Yeah. Yeah, it was only 80% sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we got our little beef burger. And then we're going to look at making the Veggie Burger. Now, Veggie Burgers can actually be imparting the flavor of the vegetable. So it could be like a black bean burger. It's going to taste like black beans. Most vegetable burgers that are trying to be an actual vegetable burger are not going to be like trying to be a meat burger, right?
Really?
You can get those. Well, I mean, you can get those, but that's the thing is that you want to look at, am I wanting something that's just a different, like a vegetable in patty form,
like meat.
or do I want something that's going to taste like meat? The reason why a lot of people goo-goo about these Beyond Meat burgers is that they've simulated the experience with the blood oozing out and all that kind of thing of the actual meat patty.
Is it beet juice?
I think so.
That makes sense.
It could be liberal tears. I'm
Huh.
not sure.
No, they're from a bleeding heart.
That's right. Oh, I've got some lettuce.
It's 4 o'clock.
It's 4 already. Good lord.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we'll move on to the vegan burger. You can try the beef and see how they taste differently. Describe it for the audience.
Okay.
So here's the beef.
Let's try this beef.
Answering the age-old question, where's the beef?
It's right there. On the burger.
Okay, so bison, you notice, it's very neutral. It
Yeah,
doesn't taste like
kinda
anything.
blandish.
And a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be gamey. It's like, no.
It kind of smelled gamey.
It does smell a little gamey,
But
it doesn't taste like
out of
much.
it.
Whereas beef, and this is commercial, store brand beef in a tube.
Is that what they mean when they say tube steak?
No,
Okay.
no, that's the bull. But yeah, this is a little,
Feels like coarser.
yeah, no, that's for sure. Of course, part of that was that we cooked this one a little bit longer, so it's going to be. You'll notice too, the amount of tenderness, right? It is a little bit coarser because it's a little more burnt.
A little more chewy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's also what happens. So the reason steak and meat tastes like it does, the texture wise, is because it's the interaction of the muscle fibers that are very long and the fat globs that are like this. And so what you have is, it's almost like wet silk, if you could think of it like that. That's what you're eating, is this sort of like mush between the two, which is very satisfying, And again, the burnt stuff on here tastes absolutely delicious. I'm going to eat that for days. Okay, so now we need a fresh pan because we don't want to have cross-contamination with the meats.
Is this still... Can I put this on the...
You can put it in the sink. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Sink.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Let's see, we have another pan? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need this one. We're gonna... Something I mentioned to Amanda is that if you have a deep pan like this, not a pot for like cooking ramens in or whatever, but a deep pan, a lot of that spatter that we had with the higher fat beef patty is not eliminated, but it's a little lessened with this. So if you're cooking bacon or sausages, that kind of thing, there's a lot of spatter. It's a deeper pan. What's great about these is that they don't really spatter much. I mean, any spatter is going to be water, essentially.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Are they made with oil at all?
Let's look at what they've got in here. It's actually sort of interesting. Water is the first
there you
ingredient.
go.
Pea protein isolate.
Wait, what?
Pea protein isolate.
PEA. PEA.
Yeah, it's not PP. Expeller pressed canola oil, refined coconut oil, and then cellulose from bamboo, methyl cellulose, meth, potato starch, natural flavor, maltodextrin, yeast extract, salt, sunflower oil, vegetable glycerin, dried yeast, gum arabic, of course, and then some acids, and then beet juice extract for color. So that is where the color is coming from.
Have you ever had gum oriental?
I've not. Is that the same?
No, I made it up.
What?
Gotcha!
You got me. My cultural
The
unawareness.
first and only time.
So, like I said with the vegan burger, you really want to make sure.
Oil it up.
Mm-hmm.
Lube it up. Grease it down.
Woo! Don't get that in your nose. No, I'm just kidding. Just olive oil. You won't die. Everything will just smell like Italy.
Italy. Italy didn't smell like olive oil when I was there.
Damn it!
You can't pull that off on me.
I've never been there.
My mom took me there.
Oh, let's get you back
I'll
on.
tell you I'm going to France next month.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, with my friend Hillary from St. Louis. It's gonna be awesome.
Which was, of course, the source of the hamburger and the hot dog.
And the ice cream cone.
And ice cream and cotton candy.
And Marilyn Beausavant.
Was she born at the 1904? She was conceived at the World's Fair, the 1904 World's Fair.
She's still on. She actually is on Twitter.
Is she on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if it's like
bless her.
really her, but
I'm sorry that she's on there.
some liberal stuff.
Of course.
Like liberal.
Because
That'd
she's
be fun.
smart.
If someone like, I don't know, there must be a Twitter account where someone just posts pictures of liver steaks, or it doesn't even have to be a steak.
I know
what
there's
else could it be?
I know there's a penis bot. So if you say the word penis, there's a Twitter account that will retweet you.
How have I not known about
the
this?
The world needed that. Well, let's see if my iPad decided to turn itself off here. We're still going.
Still going.
Session says, yeah, still going. We're an hour and 6 minutes in. All right, we're getting this nice and hot. It's nice and hot.
I see it kind of flatten down.
And I'm going to show you up close here. This is what the Beyond Meat burger looks like. And it, color-wise and everything, it looks just like a burger. And when you slap it on the sizzler, it sounds like a burger.
That doesn't sound like a burger.
It's going moo.
It sounds like champagne bubbles popping.
Well, the nice thing is, here in a second, we'll give it a couple minutes to cook. And I like to give it a little whoop-a-doop-a-doop.
Oh.
Because you can see it's already starting to cook some shit behind it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and a meat patty can do that too. But this is particularly precarious for whatever reason.
Are you supposed to have it that thick? Like serve it that thick?
It'll actually cook down. And that's the other thing is that these cook down quite quickly.
It's like an inch thick.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get a close up here. There we go. So it looks kind of weird. It looks like cat food. And it kind of smells like cat food, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
So we're going to eat this cat food burger.
Wait, that's the one we read the ingredients of?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Isn't it? Oh, you would never think
yeah.
that all those combine to make this weird
patty
man thing.
Patty man.
Patty guy. Okay. See, something that I found too. If you want to make a really nice vegan meal, you can do this and some mushroom gravy. Some homemade, get some mushrooms, throw some. Well, you can do vegan butter, or you can just do oil.
Vegan butter? What is vegan butter?
Yeah.
Is it just like whipped up oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all angry up oil.
I don't need to learn about this vegan stuff, I don't think.
But if you want to do vegetarian, then you can add some butter to some mushrooms, cook them down basically, and create your own sauce. You throw a little flour in there, make a little gravy, stick that on this. It's super good. All right.
Saucy.
I'm telling you, it's all about the sauces.
What's your favorite sauce?
Probably hollandaise, because it's got tangy, but it's creamy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's so many good sauces out there. Balsamic reduction is incredible. And here's a great little tip.
What does that mean, reduction?
Well, it means that it was a lot runnier at first, and then they either evaporate or they cook it down to where it gets thicker. And that's sort of like what you want to do with an Italian, like a pasta sauce, right? Like a red sauce. You want to cook it down. But you can do that with anything.
Watery.
You can cook the water out of anything if you want the consistency different. Exactly. All right, so now we'll bring this back down here so we can see. You can kind of tell what happens when I do this. It's like trying to sizzle, and it kind of bleeds a little bit. Although for some reason I can't get the temperature where I want it on this.
How do you know what the temperature is?
Well, I just mean I'm not having a good look. Yeah, I just need to keep turning it up.
The stove temperature and not the burger temperature.
Right. And that is something too. I find one thing that scares people about cooking, and rightly so, is that they don't know how hot the thing gets. It's like, well, do I put it on 5? Do I put it on 6? When you see medium high, it means between 6 and 8, basically. Between you can do 5, 6, 7, 8. High is
high?
8. Well, medium high 6 or 7, right?
That's like saying you're late 50s when you're really mid 50s.
Well, you're going to see that. You're going to see medium high. You're going to see medium low, and then so that's why it's 1 to 10 basically on it. Well, it's actually 0 to 10. I just realized on yours.
Oh yeah. So technically, I could just renumber them and then make it 1 to 11.
Yours goes to 11.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
But it doesn't say the 0 or the 10.
See it bleeding?
Oh.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let's see. There we go.
There it is.
It started to stick a little bit. You're just going to lose a little bit of that chunder.
Chunder? Is that a real word?
It's not its technical term.
But that's a good word.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Come on, man. Now, you could eat it. I mean, again, you could eat this raw.
It looks like Spam.
But it would taste like, wet farts. It does look like Spam. And it's starting to smell a little bit like Spam. Although it also smells a little weird. I'm not sure why.
I don't smell a weird smell.
Yeah, it smells a weird smell. Okay,
maybe that's just you.
You're like, it's a vegan burger. What the fuck's it supposed to smell like? Burger?
Yeah, I wish. Luckily we got the aroma from... Wait, why would we get a different pan?
So that we can taste the actual veganness.
Oh, okay. So if you wanted it to taste good, you would not switch the pan.
That's right, yeah. If you wanted it to taste like beef, the easiest way to do it is to cook it with some beef.
And you want to lose all of your vegan friends.
That's right, when you want to poison
serve it
people.
To them. My mom's friend made this coco vin in France.
Yeah?
And she's a vegetarian. She didn't even taste it the whole time. And it was amazing. I wouldn't even think you could... Yeah, she's great. She's wonderful. She psychically talks to animals. And she thinks Newtown didn't happen.
What?
Yeah.
Well, fuck her!
Yeah.
I mean, come on! I'm
It's
so
a
sorry.
shame.
I did not know she was a racist.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Key West, man.
Now it's squirting out some juices, as they say in the big leagues. All right. Now, you can basically keep cooking the shit out of this thing to your level of doneness. If you want it to be communion wafer, you can get it down to a chip.
Really?
Because it's just plant matter, right?
Does it ever get crunchy?
The outside, you can see where this burnt sort of part is, that gets a little crunchy. But you're never going to get it to a well-doneness all the way through without it getting a little bit extra crispy on the edges. And I mean on the flat the flat
I
parts.
like bacon crispy. Do you think I would like a veggie burger crispy?
Probably. I mean, I think this tastes...
Do you think I would like a veggie burger ever?
Yes.
Really?
Well, because, like I said, there are burgers that aren't just... we're trying to be meat. There are burgers, like a black bean burger is actually really tasty. If you do black bean patties, here's a really quick, easy meal.
Mm-hmm. Do you get them pre-made, pre-patties?
Yeah. If you no. This is the thing. You're going to make your own patties. So what you do is you take black beans that have already been cooked, or cook the black beans, cook the shit out of them, like in an Instant Pot or something. Read the directions, learn how to cook beans. It's a super.
You say that like
great
it's
food.
so easy.
You just watch a YouTube video. Well, we should do beans. We should do beans at some point. So.
You're asking for trouble here.
But you take those, put them in a Ziploc bag, cut one corner out of the Ziploc bag, like about a ½ inch to make a hole.
Oh.
You're going to squeeze that out. You're going to like mush them around,
thing.
make like a paste, but you're going to mix into that with the beans, grits, dry grits. You're going to squeeze all that after you mix it up, you mush them around and whatnot, squeeze all that out. You're going to take that and make patties out of those and cook the shit out of those. Super delicious.
Would you put nuts in that?
No.
No.
No, because the grits give you the crunch.
What if you ran out of grits?
Then you would be gritless in Seattle. Except you probably wouldn't be in Seattle.
Why would I go to Seattle? My cousin's
Just
a
to
chef
cook
in
grits.
Seattle.
Yeah?
He's a musician. He played down at Jig and Reel.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so see, this is what I'm talking about. Where like you lose part of it. It's just a fact of the vegan burger.
The parts that we lost, is it anything good?
Oh, Lord,
just
yeah.
More of the same.
And that's the thing. You can take this. You can put it on a salad. You could put it next to your toilet.
Wait.
I mean, you could. I wouldn't serve any
When
purpose.
you say this.
Yeah.
The gunk.
The stuff that we scrape off.
Okay.
Yeah, the scraplins.
Do you
It
think
actually
that
has a
the pet
term,
would
and I can
like
never fucking remember. Do what?
Would a pet like it?
Yes.
Is it cracklins?
Cracklins. Yes. Hey, look at that.
They eat those that are like cow brains in St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what they're called.
Man,
Some
I love organ meats. I love chicken livers, beef. You can get beef heart. It's really good.
Ooh.
You can get chicken hearts. There was one of those Braziros type things in LA that I went to that had actual chicken hearts on a skewer. It was like these tiny little hearts, and it was just the sweetest Valentine's. It was great.
Did they? I mean, could you tell it was a heart? If they didn't tell you this was a heart?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, if you
Was
knew
it
what a heart
shaped
was,
like
I mean,
a
it was
heart?
either that or a miniature chicken. You know what I mean? It was like a miniature chicken breast or some shit. Because that's what it looked like. It looked like a little lump. I mean, if you know what a heart looks like.
When you say a heart, there's different hearts. There's
Well,
like
it was like it was like this. It was like a deformed lump of shit. But it had a thing like you could kind of tell. I mean, it didn't have like ventricles hanging off or anything.
Okay. Oh my god, that would be kind of cool though. And then if you had you could just swing it around by one.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we need one more
That
bun.
would be fun.
Now this you're gonna want probably tomato, lettuce. You want cheese?
I'm not a cheese person.
Okay, you're not a cheese person. Okay, good. There you go.
My mom and sister always stole all the cheese. I was never allowed to have any.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You're all getting called out.
I gave it to them.
today.
I promise I gave it to them willingly. Always.
Okay, so there's that, and like I said, we've got some. I don't think this is too contaminated. Put that on there. Put the remaining halves of that on there. I'm going to cut it in half here in just a second.
Stove is off.
And then you can put whatever.
You didn't even teach me that I need to turn the stove off.
We're
lucky that I need
Make
that.
sure to turn the stove off when you get done. Another tip is that usually there's lights, so it's like a dashboard. If you can see no lights, everything's off.
What about the clock?
The clock is not a light.
Not with that attitude.
That's right. Okay. Cut this in half if I can. Oh, there we go.
Wow.
So, I would recommend ketchup and mustard for sure. There's a religious debate about whether the ketchup and mustard should go onto, I know, just that strong. If they should go, above or below the meat or the lettuce or the tomato. Like, where's the layering? I don't give a damn.
What's the point of tomatoes and ketchup?
Well, ketchup adds a little bit of zing. A little bit of zing to it.
Sugar.
A little zing zang. A little sugar.
Little sugar.
Honestly.
Little sugar.
A little sugar. All right. Let's see what this tastes like.
What's your favorite condiment?
Maybe mustard for its variety, but I do love mayonnaise.
Do you like Miracle Whip?
I love. Oh yeah, every type of mayonnaise. It's all.
You count Miracle Whip as mayonnaise?
Yeah,
their marketing department will really have a problem with that.
I know, and I've murdered more than one person in their marketing department now. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, it's like pinkish on the middle.
Yeah, see that's the thing is that it looks like.
Doesn't look like meat. It looks like
a real boy.
Reddish, purplish, almost purplish.
It's like a real burger.
I was gonna say, can you give these to your pets? But what pet would want them?
We've all seen the meme with the poor vegan cat, and it's just like, I hate these fucking people. Why would you do that to a cat?
So when my cat Arya, yesterday she almost caught a mouse. Well, she had it. She let it go so she could chase it a little bit more. And last time we saw it, she chased it and it ran under that couch. Right over there. So we should be looking out for mouse droppings too.
Oh. I can't recommend you cook with those.
Have you tried it?
No.
This is not bad.
Right?
And this is Beyond Meat?
Mm-hmm.
Fancy.
Yeah, here's the plant-based burger patties.
What else could you put Beyond on? Like,
do not overcook. Interior of patty will still be red or pink when fully cooked. So that's why I say you can't really well done these or they'll turn to shit. Fully cooked when internal temperature is 165 degrees. Yeah. If purchased frozen, thaw in the refrigerator before cooking and consume within 10 days.
How long do you have to thaw it in the refrigerator?
About a day. Like overnight. That's usually what I recommend. If you want to make stuff that's in the freezer, just put it in the fridge the night before. You should be good.
What if you forgot to put it in the fridge? Could you just like hot water over it in the sink?
Mm-hmm. It might fall apart.
Because it's like put together.
Yeah. One thing about this is that you can set it out on the counter and let it de-thaw at room temperature, which you should not do with beef. But this you can do it. So you can set it out on the counter for a couple hours and it'll be fine.
Wait, beef. How long can beef be out?
I wouldn't leave it out for an hour, let alone more.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You want to try to cook it. Just here's the thing, especially with ground beef, you got all those little nooks and crannies for shit to be in. So the longer you leave it at room temperature, the more chance it has of growing stuff.
Because it has to have air to grow.
Mm-hmm. And the right temperature.
Are there like bacteria that are plants? I guess they're a different thing other than.
We'll have to answer that question another day. Have to answer that question another day. Oh, look at that. It's 4 of us.
Hang on.
Oh, there we go. It's 6. It's a happy family. This poor bastard. All right. That's all for the cooking show for this month, or for this week, for this year.
Who knows?
Whatever. The lunar calendar. And we'll see you next time.